Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and it's day 5 of the search for Brian Laundrie to solve this Gabby Petito case. I'm here with Steph, the alter nerd. Thanks for being here, Steph.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
So quickly, I want to show you where we're at today, and then I want to talk about these neighbors that I've brought some new information on that I want to make sure we highlight for you guys. But currently, right now, we are still searching in the Carlton Reserve. There are rumors that the search for Brian might end tonight. We're a little confused, but this might also just mean we have a manhunt for a criminal starting tomorrow, we hope, but there is a lot of chatter along the news anchors and stuff that this might end soon. Yes, I'm a little worried about that as well, but they are out there in the Carlton Reserve searching around. I mean, it's wild. There's a lot to search. They're still doing it, but this morning, the other big news was the fact that Brian Laundrie's parents left the house with police escorts. Now, just the fact that they had police escorts is making a lot of people wonder, is something bad? This could have just been for their own safety why they had police escorts. But what happened was at 8:15 this morning, Brian's parents left the house with police escorts. They then came back a short term later, brought the Mustang back. Now, the Mustang is that car that they drove off to the wilderness that Brian left there. There was a note, and then somehow the parents discovered, even though he wasn't there, that mysterious Mustang. They came back after leaving the Mustang, and then they were brought the red pickup truck back, which also went back with the police with police escort. So Brian Laundrie's parents are currently still with the police, seemingly being questioned. We don't know what's happening there, but that's really all the information we have so far. So we will be live tonight around 6-ish. Steph and I will be live to break down a lot more stuff. We were live last night. A lot of you had so many questions, so I hope you'll join us tonight at 6. We're going to answer your calls and get you updated on a lot of other stuff, as well as clear up the timeline, because the timelines is still a big question, Steph, because this clip here I want to show you really affects it potentially. So these were neighbors across the street from the Laundries, and props to Fox News and then Ickamel who clipped this. But I want to make sure more eyeballs get in this, because while I wish the anchor would have asked a little bit more questions, this definitely brings up more questions as to when things went down. The neighbors here talk about a brand new camper that was found. Now, Steph, buying a brand new camper, again, stepping back for a second, the first is when Brian comes back with the van, right? And then he knows what happened, that Gabby's missing. On the 11th, the parents of Gabby know that she's missing, and they file the police report. Between the 1st and the 11th is when all this transpired, where the parents realize that their son's back without his fiance. I mean, red flag number 1, right, Steph?
Yep.
And then, add to that, they decided to go camping with him in this camper for a few days, but right before the 11th. Now, another red flag. Yes, Steph?
Yeah, because what a good idea. Your son comes back without his fiancée, no questions asked, but do you know what? Let's go on holiday. Let's go camping.
That's not what I would do either.
Sus.
So again, they buy a new camper and they go camping with him when they know Gabby's not with him. Now, maybe they didn't know that she was, let's be fair here, right? Maybe they didn't know. We don't know. We can assume all we want. But does this seem weird to you? So here, let's play the clip. Here's the father, the neighbor, explaining how they saw this.
I was doing some work in the front yard, and I noticed that they got a new camper for the back of the pickup, and I didn't think anything unusual. They got a new camper, so they wanted to put their own touch inside of it. I saw them doing some work, and then when they prepared for their trip, I saw them loading the camper.
Now, you're talking about Brian and his parents after he returned home, is that correct? In a different camper?
Yes, the van is
this camper, lady. Come on, get your facts straight.
His father has a pickup truck, which they purchased
I know they're live,
camper.
But come on.
Attachment camper.
News.
So, and then you say
yes,
that they packed up that camper, Brian and his mom and dad, and they went camping. Do you know that for sure?
We saw them. I saw them loading it up, and so I assumed they were preparing for a camping trip with their new camper.
Now, there's a lot of questions like, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, he's admitting, right, Steph? He's admitting they were packing up a camper. They bought a new camper, fixing up this new camper that attached to their truck. They were packing said camper, and then the camper wasn't there for a few days. We don't know if they went camping, obviously. So a lot of people are like, well, this guy, what's this guy know? But he doesn't know where they went, but one would assume they went camping, right? So far, Steph, you feeling there's something weird here? We'll continue in a second, but I want to get your thoughts.
Yes.
Hey, short and
I don't know
sweet.
what else
Going
you
for
can
the
say to
weekend.
say
So
that.
how long
It is
after?
weird.
How long
That's all that matters. Here we go.
after he got back,
How long-
alone in that white van? How long after that was this? When you saw them working on this other camper and getting ready to go away together?
Yeah, I can't remember, the dates.
Week and a half.
Yeah, probably week and a half.
So week and a half. So they come back on the first, Steph, right? So let's do the math there. So again, week and a half. Let's say it's a 7 days, 7 to 9 days, right? 7 to 10 days. So that would have been around like the 7th
Ninth,
or
10th.
8th, 9th, 10th. Literally the day before Gabby went missing. Based on these neighbors. To me, this is a crucial sort of like, I mean, I imagine and hope the cops and the feds are asking really tough questions to the parents to figure out, because while I don't believe they had anything to do with Gabby, right, but they clearly could be an accomplice to allowing Brian to get out of town and do all these other things. But it's so weird. Why would they have left town and gone camping for this period of time?
I agree with that.
So
yes.
did the police ever talk to you about what you saw, the parents and Brian working on this new camper and then leaving for a few days? Did they ask you about that?
I believe that we did give them that information.
You believe? Come on. Now I'm
did.
confused. You believe?
Tell them that they had gone on a camping trip for 3 days for the
Yes.
weekend.
So either they have a bad memory and I'm worried, Steph, or the cops aren't asking when, which makes me even more frustrated. Do you get what I'm saying, Steph? Like, why on earth wouldn't they have been like, wait. They went on a camping trip in a new camper days before Gabby was missing. What do you think? Do you think this is now, again, the police showing that they clearly weren't asking, they still aren't asking the correct questions? Or do you think this is making the witnesses look silly?
I think it's a little bit of both. In all honesty, although I'm slightly confused. Please explain. Is it that they went on a camping trip for 3 days, as they've just mentioned there, or that they went on a camping trip for like a week and a half? Because they've just said that they just went away for 3 days.
3 days. I mean, they went away for 3 days allegedly by these neighbors, right? Again, after he came back without Gabby, which they don't know Gabby's not there, but they're still trying to figure out what's going on, and they'll explain it here too of what that means. But yeah, they left in this new camper for 3 days right before Gabby was announced missing. Which again, the reason why this is relevant and interesting is because this is all time to prepare to do something, to get away with something, to go prepare for something, to unload Gabby's belongings potentially, right? There's a lot of things that could have been done here. Or, let's be fair, they could have just decided to go camping together as a family because, Gabby and him had a fight, and they thought, well, let's get out of the house and let's go clear our heads. That's maybe. Let's be fair and put all our options out. But here, let's hear the rest of the clip.
Did you think there was
tell
anything
them that,
unusual about that?
Well, to
After
me,
we knew they were missing,
Yeah.
after Gabby was missing, when they came to our house on Saturday night a week ago and told us they were working a missing persons case.
yeah.
Then,
And also, which struck me as I spoke to my wife about, is that the parents going on a trip, I can see that, but taking their 23-year-old son in a small camper that's on the back of the truck struck us as odd.
Okay.
Not a lot of
Well,
room.
that's very interesting.
Unless
Thank
you're
you.
getting a hotel or something. But there you go. It's an interesting development there because it just, again, a lot of us don't trust the parents, right? And so this adds another thing of why is this new camper there? What were they doing at that time? Why aren't the police asking more about the dates? Now, again, it could be a trip they decided to go on to relieve some stress. But Steph, what do you take of this new information?
For me, it sheds a lot more suspicion on the parents and their involvement and what they potentially did between the 1st and the 11th in regards to this situation. They don't look good.
No.
And it's a case of here, no disrespect, I think it's where there's smoke, there's fire. Dudes, the whole situation is on fire. It is screamingly obvious to me that they were acting dodgy. You don't just be like, oh, sun's come on, where's your fiance? Oh, let's go camping. No, you'd be concerned. Where's the lass? Where's Gabby? What's going on? You don't you knee-jerk reaction isn't like, oh, let's go on a family holiday and buy a new massive big camper van. I mean, that in itself is a big commitment. Buying a new camper van, that's a lot of money. That's a big decision to make in the face of
potentially a way to
Gabby
hide some
being
money.
missing. Yeah, it's just when you think about it logically like that, yeah, there's too many red flags coming up here.
Here's another neighbor. It was across. This is from ABC. Credit to them.
I want to say it was Thursday or Friday.
She saw them
before we knew Gabby was missing.
Okay, great. So
So this was earlier than that camping trip, allegedly. This was more closer to when he came back after the first.
They, as a family, the mom, dad, and him came out to take a stroll in the neighborhood. That was really all.
You didn't think anything of it?
No, not at all.
Looked like a normal interaction.
Yeah, we'd seen them do that before, so it never seemed strange to us that they would go for a walk through the neighborhood.
So again, that one's less, nefarious. It's you want to get out of your house and take walks. I do that too. It doesn't make you guilty, but it does point out that neighbors were clearly keeping an eye. They were moving in and about, and that could be a positive to say, look, they were trying to get out about and talk. Again, I want to try and cover all sides. I feel like I don't want to be too biased here and let my emotions take over. But yeah, I have a lot of problem with Brian obviously holding on to this information and not helping them find his fiance. And now that we find her body, it all clicks together to make it seem like, well, yeah, that's why he was hiding something, and that would make sense why the parents were hiding something too. But hearing from these neighbors, I think, does shed some light on potentially the motivations or things that were going on with the parents. Steph, any other thoughts on these interviews?
Yeah, this particular neighbor that we're hearing from right now, I again strike it as odd. I said before, Gabby's missing. Let's go camping. Gabby's missing. Let's have a jolly nice walk around the neighborhood. This is not healthy, normal actions in the face of such a situation that was going on, right? To me, and I think I'm putting my tin-foiled hat on here, admittedly, so I'll be 100 on that one, guys. But it seems like by taking that stroll around the neighborhood, they're trying to establish some kind of alibi because they know the neighborhood, so they may know that the neighbors will be watching them, this, that, and the other, because they all watch each other. I live in a neighborhood that's full of curtain twitchers. Literally, the house opposite us. I mean, of course, the family. It's my in-laws. Ultimate curtain twitchers. I adore them to death, of course, but. Seriously, this isn't normal behavior. So for me, it's like, okay, well, what's the alternative reason as to why they'll be doing this in the first place? And to me, the only thing is maybe trying to establish an alibi. Like, look, all these neighbors saw him. He wasn't around the time that you're saying this, that, and the other.
It's a good angle.
And all these neighbors seeing him, it muddies up the timeline because they're saying different dates. They're saying different time frames, which makes it more difficult then for the investigators to really properly pin down an actual time frame and an actual timeline to place Brian at certain events at certain times. Confuses the situation.
I hear your tinfoil hat, and then I start putting on mine because I'm like, of course, if you're going to be plotting this to protect your son, of course the DA mother is like, all right, we cannot hide in this house all day. We have to move. We have to go do things. Come on, we have to have alibis, and people need to see us, like we were being normal. You're right. It's not. Devil's advocate, they also could be being normal. I mean, look, I go for strolls when I'm having trouble, Steph. A stroll isn't the same as going on a holiday. They are, to me, those are different things. But you're right. If you're deep in like really the issues with, oh my God, my son potentially murdered, or hey, she's missing. Yeah, you might still be so down that you don't want to go for a stroll with everybody publicly. You know what I mean? You want to hunker down and hide away from the world. So these are just more things that you got to look at, and we'll be breaking this down along with a lot more. In fact, a lot of you have been pointing out this clip. I have downloaded and gathered this clip. Brian and Gabby were seen arguing at a restaurant. The restaurant has now confirmed it. We're going to go through this witness testimony as well. Guys, update. The police in Utah are now being investigated about that body cam footage, which I know a lot of you were wondering with what's going to happen to them. There's so much more to break down, so I hope you guys will join us live tonight around 6 p.m. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for alerts, that way you get notified when we are live, and smash the like button so you can join us tonight as we hear more of your theories, share a lot of update that we've been getting on gathering timelines and everything else for you to go through and get a lot of your thoughts and questions as we try and figure out where is Brian Laundrie, what is happening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Steph the Alternate as well, and join us tonight around 6 p.m. live. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet.